is one of the guards for when the Giants traded OBJ and that whole other debacle. But yeah, as long as you can rub the ball, keep the ball away from the other team, and play suffocating defense, which they do, they're going to win every time.
Mm-hmm. Joey,
What's that? What's that?
what are your thoughts on 20 something more plays, a whole quarter of possession, 22 first downs to only 10. That
What?
defense, I mean, their defense and offense, they're balanced.
Yeah. At first, the Texans kind of they kept it close in the beginning. I think they surprised the Ravens a little bit, but then after halftime, they made adjustments. Oh, we see what you're doing, and they just adjusted to it, and they dominated the second half. Uh, yeah, I mean, I've said this the last time I was on here. I said the only teams that could stop the Ravens are the Browns and the Steelers because they're used to them, and now the Browns and the Steelers are gone. So I think they have a path to the Super Bowl. I think it's going to be an interesting game, but I think they're going to beat the Chiefs.
Now you're going to see a theme here because Byron, you notice over the last several weeks, Santiago used to get on me because I used to get on him about stats when I used to go on some of his shows. But he used to bring up stats like, this guy had 40 yards rushing. Like, okay, why are you even bringing that stat up? you know, it's an insignificant stat. But the reason why I'm bringing stats is because what I've been doing, Joey, I don't know if you've been hearing the show over the last couple of weeks, but I could show you probably in the past playoff games where I think when the Bills had the ball for a significant amount of time, and and they lost, or one of the teams dominated the time of possession and still lost the game, right? Which goes to show that if you don't put the ball in the end zone, just because you're having long drives, you better put the ball in the end zone, right? It's playoff time. You need 3 points, you need 6 points, you need 7 points. So you're going to see in the other games that this stat sheet that I just stated, if I told you that, you would have told me, oh, that game was probably a blowout. Is that a fair statement? Now we're going to
You
see.
could look at you
Yeah,
could look at certain stats and say, yeah, this this team dominated, and the stats for the Ravens game definitely showed that.
What were you going to say, Byron?
no, go ahead.
Okay. All right. So let's go. Let's go to. Okay. So that game is done. Let's go back. All right. What you want to go next to? Let's go Packers 49ers, which is another. Let's go because I want to go to Packers 49ers because you have Jordan Love and CJ Stroud, right? And we'll go to that game. Joey, what did you think about that game?
The Packers are a lot like the Texans. Nobody expected much from them, and they definitely overachieved. There's the big, oh, is Jordan Love the guy? Boy, in the second half of the season, boy, Jordan Love showed that he is the guy. Looks like he's just gonna continue right on from Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. So the Packers have a bright future. The 49ers, I think they're really strong, not as strong as the Ravens. But there was one of those things where if the Packers played a perfect game, they would have won. But they didn't play a perfect game. They left some plays out there, and eventually the 49ers won. But kudos to the Packers. They had a great season.
Byron.
Yeah, like with the Packers, they proved one thing that you can run the ball on the 49ers. They did run the ball very well, on them when they did. And for some reason, I don't know why they, got away from it. Maybe they should have ran a little bit more instead of doing some of the things, that they did. But, Jordan left, he played a lot better, than I thought he would. Uh, I think I picked them too again. And, 0 for 2. And, he has a bright future. He proved that they did get away from Aaron Rodgers, and that he's going to be the guy there hopefully for a long time.
You have to give that Packers organization credit because I was questioning Matt LaFleur, right? Um, but they're literally repeating exactly where they left off with Brett Favre. That model seems to work for them, and this team is scary because they're all, I believe, under 30 years old.
25 years, 25 and .8 year months, or whatever, 25.8 or something like that. The youngest team.
And they had all kinds of dead cap space from getting rid of Aaron Rodgers. So they're going to have a whole lot more cap space next year.
That's going to
Yeah, but
be a scary team.
they're really not one of those teams that like they did like Reggie White back in the day, and they really don't go after like the big name guys that are usually available with
Yeah, but
free agents.
yeah, but that's you can't say I don't you can't really say that because they're all young. It's like um, it's not until they become stars, then all of a sudden they're like, oh my God, you have all these great players. It's like Jimmy Johnson said that one time. He goes, well, when you win, now all these guys are names, but you didn't know my linemen before. You didn't know all these guys before, right? So the fact that they're all young, you may find the Reggie White out of there. You don't know. You may find someone out of there. We don't know yet, but that's
Yeah,
a
but
young. That's a
but
really, really young
yeah,
team with a quarterback that has health because he hasn't played. He's learned under one of the best, right? So that team's
but
going to grow. You know what I mean?
I don't know about if he learned under the best because he probably just watched him because I'm sure Aaron Rodgers probably really helped this guy a lot.
Yeah, but I think that just being around great players, right, and watching how they prepare and how they're doing the stuff, and what they do. I think that maybe he didn't get full throttled, tutelage, but I will
Watch.
tell you, he's going to learn. I tell you, definitely had to have learned something, and because you got to say the same thing about Aaron and Brett Favre, right? I mean, they had to pick up something, right? And they have their own style. The beauty about them is they're playing their game. They're not trying to mimic the other quarterback. Does that make sense? So let me show you the stats here again. But the 49ers, Joey, you said they got away from a few things, either Joe or Byron, but the 49ers almost hurt themselves in the foot. They had 83 yards in penalties versus 5 on goal. Look how disciplined the Packers were. They had one penalty for 5 yards the whole game. The 49ers had 6 for 83. That hurts you. Now here's the numbers real quick so you can see. It's a 24-21 game, right? Total yards, the 49ers 356, 330 to Packers. Passing 245 the 49ers, 194 for the Packers, 136 rushing for the Packers, 111 for the 49ers. They both average like 5.3, 5.6. First downs 20-19. I mean, this game was pretty much even everywhere except in 2 places. The 49ers punted 4 times versus the Packers once. And the penalties, they had 83 yards in penalties to 5. Right? And that made the game a little bit closer, but I'm not going to take anything away from the Packers. I did pick the 49ers because but I'm a little concerned. They don't seem as dominant as they once were. I don't know what's going on.
Well, for one thing, they lost Deebo Samuel, and we'll see if he plays in this game.
Right.
But that's the thing about the 49ers is they have so many stars, and it's awesome. And when they're all healthy, then they're this wonderful juggernaut team. But once 1 or 2 key players get hurt, like it's like the whole thing collapses, and it almost collapsed this time. So yeah, and okay, you got to hand it to you got to hand it to Brock Purdy. I don't like him, but in the 4th quarter, they dominated, and they came from behind. So you got to give him credit for that. I still don't like him. I think he's a fraud. I think one of these next 2 games is gonna play out. But you got to give him credit in this game. They did manage to come back from behind and win. So credit to him this time.
But I got to answer that. I'm going to defend Brock Purdy. No, he is. There's no way you can say he's a fraud. Okay,
He's a fraud.
Yeah, Byron. You want to say? Right, of course, Byron's going to say it, right?
No, go opposite.
How is he a fraud? Look at his numbers in a playoff game that was close, and then he wins in the drive. He was 23 of 39 for 252 yards passing, 1 TD, no interceptions, no turnovers. He did his job. I mean, that's impressive. He ran for 14 yards, right? How many games has he won? He He passed. Kittle had 81 yards. Juwan Jennings 61. Alu had 32. Christian McCaffrey had 30. Debo only had 24. Now you're right that if he doesn't have that's the difference with a Debo though, because one of these other guys have to step up because the problem is that Debo is not your normal wide receiver. I mean, he's the kind of guy you can give him the ball running. I mean, he's like a McCaffrey, just bigger as a wide receiver, right? He fits into so many different elements of the game. That's why it's not like, well, you lost a receiver, you should be playing better. No, you lost Debo. Not everybody has a Debo, right? But Brock Purdy has won enough games that he should earn the right to get somebody's respect. Joey, Byron. I mean, look at his record. Look at his record. What is he? How many games he's lost? 4, and he's won 16.
And how many Super Bowls has he won?
What?
Well, it's only his second year.
Years.
Okay, then I'm throwing up. Joe Burrow was in 2 years. Joe Burrow, he was in that.
Burrow was a first-round draft pick.
I don't care.
I'm just telling you, he was drafted in the 7th round for a reason. There's a reason every team passed on him 6 or 7 times. Okay. It's not a coincidence. It's not an accident.
Who's the greatest quarterback of all times?
Tom Brady. Yeah,
What round did he get picked? What round?
Even the Patriots passed him up 6 times.
What round did he get picked in?
The 6th round.
Right. And when he got picked in the 6th round, did they have already a quarterback that they considered was their franchise quarterback?
Drew Bledsoe.
And was he making over $100 million?
Probably.
Okay. So, yeah, no, he was. Okay, so that is that you can say whatever you want. They just missed it. You know what I mean? And I'm of the belief that today that these quarterbacks are realizing that they have the opportunity to get what everybody calls the bag as backups and even third string quarterbacks. But you better be prepared. You better be ready when your time is called, because there's a lot. We have a lot better backup quarterback play than we've ever had for the last 3 to 4 years than we did prior to that. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, I guess so. He's a system quarterback, man. I'm gonna throw that out there too.
Everybody calls him that. That's bullcrap.
I agree. I agree. A lot of times he's thrown to wide open people.
Why did Trey Lance not make it?
Why didn't he?
Yeah.
Okay. The difference between Trey Lance and Brock Purdy is Brock Purdy had a ton of experience in college football. He had a lot of experience and he has the brains. That's what you need in the Kyle Shanahan offense. That's why CJ Beathard and all those other Blake Bortles and whatever, all those other schmuck 49ers backups, they didn't do well because Brock Purdy has the brains. That's fine. Brock Purdy is very smart and he could run that system. But can he do it? Does he have the physical tools? All Trey Lance had was, he looked pretty. He had nice physical tools. I don't think he ever touched a football before he got drafted by the 49ers. That's how little experience he had.
No, he played his full senior year.
No. It was during COVID. They only played
that was a COVID year. He only played like 2 games.
He didn't play many games.
Remember, they said that he was the smartest quarterback in the draft over Mac Jones, Trey Lance.
Well, then why didn't it work?
I don't know. I'm just giving you don't shoot the messenger. That's a fact. I don't know if it's through the logic test, whatever they test him on, that he was considered the smartest quarterback in out of all the quarterbacks picked in the first round. Number one. Number two, Joe, you just made a lot of good points of why Brock Purdy's doing so well with the 49ers. Yet you told me all these other teams passed them up. Well, shame on them. Shame on them.
Obviously he's, everybody missed out on him, and if they knew he was going to be this good, they would have drafted him earlier. But my point is, okay, he's a good quarterback. He has achieved success, but he is on a team full of all-stars, full of probably all pros, all at their position at wide receiver and running back and offensive line. I don't think he would do that on another team. You put him on Carolina, he's not going to do as well.
Nah.
Yeah, but I don't ever like those comparisons, because it goes back then to, well, if you put Dan Marino on that 49ers team, he would have won also. You know what I mean? Everyone wants to do the quarterback. The quarterback, if you put him on another team, he may not. There's got to be a point where, you know, if the system's just that good, then there's no reason why a trade Lance when it shouldn't have fell into that, or they couldn't have got somebody else. I don't want to belabor this too much or too long. I like Brock Purdy. I'll give it to you. We don't have to agree on it, but his numbers, are relatively good. I mean, he's got a passer rating in 2022 of 107. He's got a one this year to a 113, right? He's got 44 touchdowns to 15 interceptions. Okay, he's got a completion rate of 68%. I mean, he's balling. I mean, he's thrown for this year. He's thrown for 4,200 yards. He's got 31 and 11 interceptions, and those 11, three of them, those 4 interceptions came in one game. So those 11, those 4 came in one game. You take those 4 away, what has he got? 7?
I believe he's a finalist for MVP. That's how good of a season he's had. Okay, he has had a great season. Now, let's see if he could do it in the playoffs. Already did it one game. Let's see if he could take him to the Super Bowl. Let's see if he could win a Super Bowl. That's my point. He has talent. Obviously, he has talent far exceeding what everybody thought. But let's see if he can get it done. Let's see if he could finish that final hurdle and win a championship, or even take him to a championship. That's what remains to be seen, and that's what I want to see.
Yep.
I understand that. I'll okay with that. I just disagree with you and Byron calling him a fraud. The guy for 2 years has played in the NFL, and how many guys have bombed out? Zach Wilson. How many NFL quarterbacks that you pick, Byron, that bombed? Right? I mean, and come on, there's
only one.
No, who?
Zach Wilson. That was it.
Zach Wilson. Okay, Zach. I got to get you on that. Says Zach Wilson. There's a lot of quarterbacks that have bombed out. Okay, we got Eric coming to the stage. Hold on a second. Eric, welcome to the Jersey Boy Sports Talk.
What's up, fellas?
We're talking about. Okay, we're gonna move on this one because we're moving. But Brock Purdy? Is he a fraud or he's not a fraud? I'm not saying he's elite or he's a superstar, but is he a fraud or is he a good player?
I mean, look where he at. I mean, 7th round draft pick, right? Well, he was the last guy picked.
Last guy picked.
Forget last guy picked. I mean, he just happened to fall on a good team. I mean, he knew how to follow instructions, way better than Jimmy G string. So, I mean, yeah, he a good player.
Well, Jimmy G did well. Just Jimmy couldn't stay healthy.
I mean, Brock Purdy didn't stay healthy last year, but he got him almost to the same point last year too. So that's not a fluke. That's definitely not a fluke. If you got a team to the same point, and you're coming back from a major injury like that, and you still ain't getting paid, like, you got to think about it. All the quarterbacks that's in the playoffs right now, they could go home and lay their head on a pillow and sleep fine. Brock Purdy, he get hurt today or tomorrow. There's no guarantee that they're going to give him a contract worth having. So
yeah, every quarterback in the playoffs has legacy money. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, except for Brock. Brock still, he still
might have to take
the bus.
Exactly. I think Brock Purdy's making like $10 an hour.
He's making $900,000, man. He'll be all right. He'll be all right.
Yeah, but that's short term, right? Those guys, their contracts is already paying their great grandchildren. All right,
I'll take short term right now.
I would too, but it's just a matter of time. And trust me, it flies. Trust me. All right, let's keep going. I still think Brock Purdy is playing great football. Yes, he's up for MVP. Lamar, I think, should win it hands down. Unless McCaffrey comes out of the woodwork during the playoffs and does something any different. All right, let's get to the next close game, because the last game is the one that I'm really upset with. Bucks and Lions. All righty. So Byron, that's your Lions. Let me show you. Show them the shirt behind you.
Ooh, who is that?
Sue, my man.
Ooh, okay.
All righty. So tell us about the game. What'd you think?
They did exactly what I thought they were going to do: punch him in the mouth. Uh, Jamar Gibbs, the running back, is the real deal. They were all bent out of shape because they drafted him so high, but then he proved why he was such a high draft pick. Another Alabama kid. The defense is kind of, a little bit. It could be a little bit better what it is, but as far as them running the ball, they can pass the ball, and as long as Jared Goff doesn't get spooked and get nervous back there, he'll be fine. But I like what they did. They look very good, the Lions.
Um, I think that I called you because their defense was suspect going into the playoffs, and their defense has been playing pretty well in the playoffs, in my opinion. They've been playing, they were playing enough to win, and they're playing good. I think they're playing pretty good defense. I'll go a little bit deeper into it. Joe?
I'm so happy for the Lions. This is awesome. You saw that Detroit crowd just going crazy. They haven't had this kind of, haven't had a playoff game in 30 years. It's great to see. And yeah, they took care of the Bucks. Hats off to the Bucks. Baker Mayfield, balling. They almost came close to tying that game. Good for the Bucks, but the Lions, God, they're looking good all over the place. It is very funny that people criticize their draft. Well, Jahmyr Gibbs, why'd you take him so early? Because he's good. That's why. Like there's so many players from their draft that contributed this year. So shut up with your little draft grades, you dorks.
That is very true. They did make reference to the fact that team was built on draft picks, which is impressive, right? So they did a great job, great turnaround. Hats off to Detroit. I did want to tell you that this one's for Eric, since he's always bothering us on our age. This is the first time Detroit's won back-to-back playoff games since the Eisenhower era.
We're not that old. We're not that old. We're not that old, man.
We like Ike.
Yeah, we like Ike. Okay, so
we're not that old, man. Come on,
that's
man.
how long it's been since Detroit's won 2 playoff games in a row, since Dwight Eisenhower was president. Okay? And Eric, that was probably in your history book somewhere.
That's when John Unitas wrote his book.
So, anyways, that's how long it's been since Detroit played that game. Let me give you some stats, and then Eric, I want you to go. Let me tell you though. Here's an example again of stat lines. The game was close, 31-23, but the Bucks had 408 yards. So, Byron, I don't know you got to help me out where they punched them in the mouth, so I'm clear, right? They punched them in the fourth quarter, but look, the Bucks had 408 yards versus 391, right? It's not that much of a difference. Passing 319 to 277, pretty close. Rushing, Detroit had 114 versus 89. So you're talking about, 24 more yards. Yards per play was 6.8 on the Bucks versus 5.5. Everything was pretty much even, let me see if there's anything that stood out. The only thing is that Detroit had 11 more plays than they did, and the time of possession was only 4 minutes difference. Penalties were very disciplined. Eric, how I always talk about penalties. 33 yards for the Bucks, 17 for Detroit, which wasn't bad. Fumbles lost. But I tell you what, the defense for Detroit, they had 4 sacks, and the Bucks had 2. So that's showing that, the Bucks defense sacked Baker 4 times. Eric, what are your thoughts on that game?
I watched that game, and I enjoyed every minute of it. It was old school football. Coach is right. They did punch him in their mouth, but it came, I'm going to say, like around, the third quarter going into the fourth. And the reason why I'm saying that is because Mike Evans just kept dropping the ball, dude. Like, every time they needed a big catch from him, it was like, oh, Tom Brady ain't throwing it to me. I'm not catching that. Like, that's what it seemed like. And it was just like, yo, Mike, what's up? Like, you don't want to catch the ball today or what? But then in the same breath, he was doing the same thing against the Eagles. And I was just like, yo, we getting trash and he's still dropping the ball. What's up with him? Like, he don't want to be there. He not following the script. Like, what's up? So all I know is Detroit earned every inch of what they've done. As far as, like you said, it was 30 plus years. that they haven't been to the playoffs. They won the games back to
Everyone
back.
back to back, yeah.
Yeah, they won back to back, and they deserve every minute of it. Barry Sanders, all the fellas was there to see it.
Yeah.
The city was up, like everybody
I
was up.
I miss Barry Sanders. Joey, do you think they got punched in the mouth? Because I would disagree with that.
The punching in the
What was
mouth.
the
It was
final
an
score,
even
man?
game
What was the
until
final score, man?
in
They
the fourth
lost
quarter.
by 7th game. It was tie the entire every quarter.
But we
was-
talking about Detroit though. We talking about Detroit.
I'm talking about Detroit and the Bucks. I don't think they punched them in the mouth.
They punched him in the
the
mouth.
punching,
That's
the
my
punching
opinion.
happened
the
at
Ra-
the end.
The Ravens punched their
I ain't worried
opponents
about
in the
that.
mouth.
Get off of that one. We're not on
Okay.
that one.
It
Detroit
was an
didn't
even
punch
fight.
them in the mouth. It was an even fight, and
Until
the
the
best team,
fourth quarter, and
and
then
the best team
the
won.
Lions put them away. They
Yeah,
put
but-
them away, and then
Yeah.
and then the
I like
in
that.
the
I
mouth.
like that better. I like that better.
Yeah,
Put
Punch
it
them in
they
the
The
didn't
mouth.
punch
Bucks-
them in the mouth.
the
Why-
Bucks
why
had
you-
that
whoa,
late
whoa, whoa,
touchdown
whoa.
to make it close.
They
But
didn't
Why?
punch him in the
but-
mouth.
Can
Yeah,
I
go
use
ahead,
punch
Joey,
in the
sorry.
mouth? Is it okay? Is it okay?
No,
I use punch in the
no,
mouth.
because
Well, I'm using it anyway. I don't care what you say.
You can't use it.
I did.
There's no relevance to it. Okay, so then
You know
what did the Ravens do to that?
I'm not talking about the Ravens. I'm not worried about the Detroit
what would you
Lions.
call if you got punched in the mouth?
Well,
I mean,
move along. We don't need.
Did you guys? Did y'all already talk about the Ravens game?
Yeah,
You guys
yeah,
already
yeah.
spoke?
yeah.
Move along.
Did you
move
see
along.
that? Did you? I mean, before, did you see the talents that Lamar has compared to what Josh? I was like, yo, this dude is like a video game. It was actually sitting there like I was watching Madden. On one was playing all Madden and one was just playing pro. Like you could. I was like, yo, what the hell? Like, even though
the
Josh
Ravens
was
were on
doing his
normal
thing, but
difficulty.
Yeah,
I'm like, yo, this is crazy. I did not know he was. I knew he was fast, but I didn't know he was that fast.
He's
Like,
not only is he that fast, but he's just playing better quarterback. Right, he's looking more to pass than just to run. Right, and
they almost ran him out the city though. What? Because he wouldn't sign that contract, and they lucky they held on to him.
Yeah,
Because his mom did his contract for him, right?
yeah,
That's why.
yeah.
That's because he didn't have an agent,
Yeah.
so he didn't have somebody, going behind and telling all these like insiders and doing PR for him. So he just had his mom. So that's why everybody was bad mouthing him, and that whole situation got ugly. And yeah, they almost did lose him.
He
But-
got paid and his mom got paid, so he did what he needed. I
Good.
think he did it. I'm happy for him. He
Me
did
too.
it right. They punched their opponent in the mouth. Detroit.
Hey Vic, would
best
you
team
would
won.
you would have took that
best team
chance?
won.
You
best
would have
team
took
won.
that chance to let your mom do your contract for you?
Oh yeah, because because Lamar was probably really doing his contract, because he knew what he wanted. He knew what he was gonna get paid. I don't think these agents. There's a point when you're that good of a superstar that the nitty gritty for the agent. Do you really think that he didn't have some attorney look at his stuff? You would think, come on, Lamar's going to have access. He's got money. Someone's going to have it. What he's not doing is paying an agent 1.5%, 3% of several $100 million. That's the
Yeah, you
deal.
can keep it all in the family. I get it. I got you.
That's right. No, it's not 6%.
It's 4 to 6.
Yeah,
Well,
but those negotiations get nasty.
Unless
You
you're
want your
Drew Rosenhaus. That's how Drew Rosenhaus made his money, by undercutting every agent. That's what he did. And then he also got fortunate to be here in Miami when Miami was in its run, and he signed all the Miami players. So, he got his run. But yeah, 3, 6, even 6 is a lot. I mean, whatever, 3% of $100-something million. Lamar figures, look, you're going to pay me. So I think he did the right thing, And Eric, when I let my mom, yes. Why? Because I would have probably been running the contract myself, and my mom would get paid.
Mm.
You know what I mean? If you listen to Shaq's got all his family on payroll because they got to do stuff. That's how he pays them. He makes sure he takes care of the family. So good for him. But back to the Detroit game. I'm really happy for Detroit. I'm happy for the city of Detroit. I'm happy for Jared Goff because I always thought he was a good quarterback. Just everything. It's exciting to see them go and see if they can go any farther. Now the next game is going to be proven different. All right, let's move along here. But this game, you see the stat sheet is even. It shows you every quarter it was 3-3, 7-7, 7-7, and then it was 14-6 in the fourth quarter. And then with drop balls, that doesn't help the Bucks. I did pick Detroit though, so
What?
yeah.
What?
I picked Detroit.
You.
Yeah, I think Detroit. Well, yeah, I picked Detroit. I beat Detroit the first time, and picked Detroit. Um, did I pick Detroit the first time? I'm not sure if I picked Detroit the first time, but I think Detroit was a better team than the Bucks. I think the Bucks had to play over the top to beat them at that point. I'm not sure if I pricked them beforehand, but once they got to that game, I did pick Detroit. I'm 3-1 in the playoffs. This the game that we're going to talk about now is the one that I lost, which I want to hear you guys' opinion on it. Oh, that was the wrong game. The Bills and the Chiefs. Okay.
Oh,
I vowed not to go against Patrick Mahomes, and I still went against Patrick Mahomes, and he beat me again. Okay. I'm telling you that Bills organization, they need to fire that coach. They need to do something. I'm going to tell you where I feel that they lost that game besides playing against Patrick Mahomes. Okay. One, hats off to the Chiefs. Two, hats off to our boy Spags, because Spags, the Bills were punching them in the mouth. They were running that ball down the throat of the Chiefs. They were just running the ball. I'm going to show you the numbers. They were killing them. Spags adjusted. They couldn't run. But what I don't understand, in the games that I talked to you, Joe, you've heard me. Eric, you heard me. Byron, you heard me. The key to success whenever the Bills play is that Josh Allen can't play, gunslinger. And then two, right? He needs to run. He needs to be able to know he won the last playoff game running. So when they did that dive play to the left, they did a play, the same play during the game, and where he pulled it out and ran and swept around, right? Josh Allen ran. They never ran that anymore. They stopped running Josh Allen in the fourth quarter. I don't understand. Why would you do that? He's an extra running back for you. That's like he's not a Lamar Jackson, but he can run at 6'5", 240. Him coming down in the secondary, I don't want to tackle him. I think the coach, they lost that game. This is a disaster team. And then the worst part, to go wide right. Byron, how many Super Bowls did we win against the Bills? 2.
For the Giants.
The Giants. Yeah.
1.
Who did we?
I played them once.
I thought we played them twice.
No.
I'm pretty positive.
They lost to the Cowboys twice.
When Sims and Hostetler won the Super Bowls.
Denver was the first one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Denver was the first one. Yeah.
Okay, so of the 4 Super Bowl championships that the Bills were in, how many times did they go wide right?
Just that one. They would have beat the Giants. That was a Giants game where he missed the field goal and the Giants won. I think 22-20.
So wide right is like the worst word they could say in Buffalo. So that guy, all he had to do was tie the game. Number one. Number two. Then Josh Allen. I disagree with it. Josh Allen was checking down the whole game, making the right play, and then he decides to go for the gusto. He could have hit that under the pass underneath, get the field goal a little bit closer, and then take a shot to the end zone. There was no reason for him to try to play Brett Favre and throw that ball deep for the end zone. That was Josh Allen on that play.
That was on Diggs though. Diggs should have caught that. That was a 60-some yard pass, and he missed it. Diggs, who's supposed to be one of the best wide receivers in the league, cost his team the game.
Yeah, but he wasn't playing. Okay, I'll let you go. That's part of it. Yes, I don't think it was his fault, but Diggs hasn't been playing Diggs football for the last several games, though.
That's true.
So he was like on fire in the beginning, and then he hasn't been playing normal Diggs ball. Right. But it goes back to, why didn't you run more with Josh Allen and Spags shut them down? They were just running down their throats. Byron, do you think he should have went? He had a guy open underneath for a first down. He could have hit him. And Chris Jones was coming. Got Chris Jones. He's a baller. He's got him coming after you. Why are you going to go and throw the ball 60-something yards in the end zone, even though if he's open? When you didn't need it, you just needed a field.
It hit him in the hands, the ball.
Even though when you're in the end zone, yeah, but the ball was kind of thrown off because he got hit. He didn't throw it with the Josh Allen like the gusto. Josh wasn't able to put everything into that throw.
Are you
And
sure it didn't hit his hand, man?
I'm
You
saying
need to go back and look at that. That hit him in his hands.
I'm not saying. I think the ones he's talking about Diggs is that 65-yard pass that Diggs should have caught.
That's what I'm talking about.
I'm talking about
hit him in the hands.
The one in the end zone, the last play in the end zone before that he threw that deep ball in the end zone to win the game instead of going for the short pass to set up an easier field goal.
Yeah, but he got hit. If people, didn't pay attention,
he
when
did.
He threw that one. He got hit. That threw the
Chris
pass
Jones.
up. That guy was open. He was open.
He was open and he got hit, but there was no reason to go for that. You're playing at home. Home team usually has the advantage when you're going into overtime. Okay, so don't play for overtime, but play safe. He was playing safe all game. Why, when the game is on the line, he decides to be the gunslinger again? Joey,
listen, you're absolutely right. How do you beat Patrick Mahomes, who possibly is the greatest quarterback of all time? He's approaching Brady. How do you beat someone by that? By keeping him on the sideline. You have your long, sustained drives where you keep the Chiefs off the field. So you have your nice long drives that eat up the clock. No, but what did Josh Allen do? 65-yard bomb. Even if they made it, they would have gave the Chiefs plenty of time to come back down the field. You're absolutely right, Victor. They should have kept small drives, eat up the clock, run, eat up the clock, and then either worst case scenario, you have a short kick for a field goal to tie the game. Best case scenario, you drive in for a touchdown and go ahead and give Patrick Mahomes no time.
Mm-hmm. Yep. What, Byron? Why?
Go deep, man. Go deep. Hit him in the hand.
Who did you pick, Byron?
The Bills, of course.
Oh, you did pick the Bills. So did I. That's the only game I lost.
I did too.
and I and I'm upset going against Mahomes. Now I'm gonna have a tough time because now I'm nervous. It's like so. Look, the one thing they said about Belichick and Brady when they played, that you can't make a mistake. You can't make a mistake with these guys. You make a mistake with them, they're going to capitalize on it. Well, when you're playing Mahomes and you've never beaten him, you got to play smart. I'm not saying you have to play conservative, but you got to play smart, Josh Allen. Okay, number one. Number two, coaches, they stopped the run. They didn't stop your quarterback. Give Spag a chance to see if they can stop Josh Allen, faking the ball, going in, and then running around the corner where he got like 15, 20 yards last time. I don't understand why they went away from that. Now you're putting it back into Josh Allen's hands and his head, and he starts getting into the gunslinger mentality where he's mistake prone. You understand? You rattle him, he's going to throw an interception. He's going to just make a bad move. He's going to try to fit the ball in a small slot that he can't move. I just think that it was a combination of coaches. I think Josh Allen made.
How many interceptions did he have?
I'm going to tell you right now.
I don't think he had any. Not this game.
He had zero interceptions. They had 28 yards in penalties. Okay. He passed total. Look at this. 368 to 361 total yards. Passing, he had 186 versus 215 on Mahomes. They rushed for 182 yards. You're talking about a well-balanced 186, 182. But that 182 was pretty much a lot in the first quarter and going into the third. Right? Look at Kansas City. They're deadly. Their yards per play was 7.7 versus 4.7 for the Bills. Okay? Again, they had the ball. Listen to this. This goes to my point from before. They had the ball, the Bills, for 37 minutes versus 22 minutes. That's an entire quarter. And you lose by 3 points? They were getting punched in the mouth. Byron, when you have that ball that many times, you're getting punched in the mouth. They had 78 plays versus 47. You're going to say that's not being punched in the mouth?
Not really, no.
Oh my God!
Okay, wait.
Joe, you gotta help me. You gotta help me out. You gotta help me out, man. They're just running.
Your time of possession is almost twice as much as the Chiefs. That's impressive.
you have the ball for you. In other words, the Chiefs only played for 3 quarters, right? You did everything what Joey said. Keep Mahomes off the field. You kept Mahomes off the field for an entire quarter. It was in the last minutes of the game you decided to take a shot. Why? Because the coaches didn't run the ball. You left it in Josh Allen's hands.
That's why you're paying him all that money to put it in his hands. That's why he's
To
getting paid
lose.
to convey. Nah, he getting paid to lose. He's getting paid all that money to make those plays. And he Diggs dropped one, and then he missed the other one when he got hit.
Byron, I'm gonna play Byron Jones. How many Super Bowls did he win?
Who?
Josh Allen.
How many Super Bowls Jim Kelly win?
Okay. How do you flip? How do you not answer the same question you asked me?
I'm just
how many Josh Allen? How many Super Bowls did Jim Kelly make it to?
4. How many did he win?
How many did he make it to?
How many did he win?
How many Josh Allen make it to?
4.
None.
Well, 0 for Josh Allen.
0. None.
Okay. So what good is it? How many times has he beat Patrick Mahomes?
I think it's 0-3 or something like that.
He's Patrick Mahomes has been in the AFC Championship his entire career in the NFL. This is his 6th time in the AFC Championship.
It's all a setup.
And only Brady can beat him.
Huh? What's that?
Only Tom Brady can beat Mahomes. Mahomes is undefeated against everyone else. He's 1-1 against Joe Burrow, but he was, I think, 0-2 against Brady or something like that. But he's undefeated against every other quarterback in the playoffs,
including a Super Bowl,
like 12-0 or something like that.
Including a Super Bowl. Brady beat him in the Super Bowl. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm just disgusted with that game. I mean, look, it goes back to if I showed you that stat sheet. There's no way you would think that the Bills lost that game.
2 plays made that game.
Which 2 plays?
2 and
Stephon Diggs and the kicker.
Yes.
And no, then there's 3.
Oh, the kicker too. Well, all right,
then,
3.
Then it's
when
3.
he got hit, when he threw the ball and got hit, that guy was wide open. Coming across, he was open.
Byron, but that's what I was saying before.
Inches.
You're right. He was wide open, but because he got hit, Josh Allen wasn't able to put everything into the ball. Number 1. Number 2, for that guy to get open, do you agree at least 3 to 4 seconds had to pass because that was a deep ball?
It wasn't that long. That was a bang bang.
Dude, that was like a 40, 60-yard throw.
Which one are you talking about? The one that Diggs dropped or the other one?
The one in the end zone.
That wasn't that long.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. That was a bad throw because he got hit. Yeah. Because it ended up like on the ground.
It like hit at the goal line. It wasn't even close to this guy.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Okay.
Because he got hit. Okay.
So the guy was in the end zone, and he was in at least middle of the end zone.
Yeah, wide open in the middle by the goalpost open. He was open.
Okay.
If he had been able to step into that pass, he would have hit him.
So how long a pass would that have been?
From where he
40 yards, 50 yards?
That was about 40 yards.
Yeah, about
40
yards.
Okay. So what's the average 40 time? 4.2, 4.3 if you're flying?
Average? Yeah, if you're flying, yeah.
No, for receivers and for D-backs.
Most of
receivers,
that.
For receivers, about 4.2, 4.3. Yeah.
Okay.
For the fast ones.
So do you agree that means he had to hold the ball for at least 4 seconds? Right?
No.
Okay.
Why?
Because I'm just going to disagree right now.
Yeah, but don't disagree to disagree. You got come on, have some logic.
4 seconds. 4 seconds.
4 seconds is a long time. That's a long time.
Against Chris Jones.
That's
why that was a bad play. That's my point. If the guy 40 yards, it would take the guy at least 4 point something seconds to get to that point in the game. That means you have to hold the ball for 4 point something seconds. That means you have to be protected against Chris Jones. Exactly. You shouldn't have thrown that ball. He should have thrown the ball underneath.
The average length of time for a lineman to get to a quarterback, and they test this all the time, is between 1.65 seconds and 1.75. That's the average for defensive tackle, defensive end.
Oh my God!
So
you got my point stronger.
How?
Joey, explain it to him, Byron, because sometimes it gets a little confused.
Yeah, I mean, 4 seconds is a long time. I think what you're saying is instead of waiting for 4 seconds, wait a little bit shorter time so nobody does get hit, and throw a better percentage completion, and you would have moved the chains.
Okay, Byron, where your logic, you're making my point
I'm
stronger.
not making a point. No way.
Yeah, I know, but you are. I know because here comes the logic. Okay, Byron, if it takes just let me just even out the numbers. If it takes on average 1.5 seconds for a lineman to get to the quarterback, right?
Well, go 10 yards. But go ahead. To
To,
cover 10 yards.
to cover 10 yards.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so let's say it takes 1.5 seconds to cover 10 yards. Let's add another 1.5 seconds to that, right? To give you time to spin and actually try to get to
So
quarterback.
that's
Now
like
you're
3
at
seconds, right?
so now you're
That's
at
like
3
3.
seconds, right?
Okay.
So you're at 3 seconds. We just agreed that the average speed of a receiver is maybe 4.3, and that's without getting hit. That's without getting touched. That's just running a 40-yard straight line. Fair statement. You with me, Byron, Joey?
No.
Right? Okay. This guy ran down to the middle of the end zone, was getting hit, getting grabbed in the middle of the end zone. That had to take longer than 4 seconds, which you're giving a guy like Chris Jones time to hit him like he hit him. That's why he couldn't get that pass off and why he should have went to the check down. He went to the check down the entire game except for that play. So to me, it was that play, it was Diggs, it was the field goal kicker, and it was the fact that they stopped running the ball, or at least giving Josh Allen the chance to run the ball in the fourth quarter that lost that game. And I'm going to wrap that up there.
And you're absolutely right about that coach, that McDermott. They're not going to win anything with that guy. He's a nice coach, but he's not the coach to take him to the Super Bowl. He just ain't it. There's something wrong with that dude. You know who they should get? They should get Bill Belichick to coach the Bills.
Byron said that. Didn't you say that, Byron?
Yeah, but that ain't
that'll
happening.
never happen. That he's so hated there. He's the he's the evil empire.
Nobody's hated until you win, bro.
Yeah, that's true.
He goes there and gets him to listen to me. If Belichick, and I was talking about this, and I want to get to the coaching and then move on quickly, but I was talking that with somebody about that. If Belichick really wants to put himself on the highest level of past, to get the Brady monkey off his back, if he goes to Buffalo and wins a Super Bowl, he gets a Super Bowl without Brady. He finally gives Buffalo a Super Bowl championship. He gets everything.
They would love him
because that team is a good coach away from being a serious contender. But you don't know which team's going to show up. There's no discipline. You need someone to discipline Josh Allen that's smart enough to control him, because Josh Allen is great. There's no question. That guy is a great quarterback. It's just, he at times, I think his greatness is his Achilles heel.
Yeah, but
yes, Byron.
What happened to Von Miller? Von Miller, where was he?
That guy's disappeared all year.
He had one good play.
He's paid a ton of money to put Patrick Mahomes on the ground, and he wasn't. Where was he?
He did nothing all year. He made a lot of money and had very, very, very little production. That was a huge disappointment.
Well, both defense, other than them shutting down the defense, the thing, they each gave up 20 more than 20 points. They gave up, 300, close to 300, both of them over 360 yards. They gave up, look at Bills had 27 first downs to 21, right? Which is kind of low for having the ball that many minutes. You know what I mean? The penalties weren't bad. I mean, at the end of the day, it was, it still startles me. Look at the stats I gave you before about the time of possession and the number of plays. And then I give it to you in this game, and that team lost. I mean, how do you have a big ball? You have Patrick Mahomes. Pretty much Patrick Mahomes gave you one full quarter to try to beat me. Right? Because Josh Allen played all 4 quarters. In fact, he had a free quarter. Okay, and you couldn't beat him. So I was not that I wanted the Chiefs to lose. Don't get me wrong, but I did. I think I wanted the Bills to win more, and I thought the Bills, could have pulled that off. And because of all the things we mentioned, that was just terrible. All right, let's go real quick to the coaching pieces. I just want to go one because it's the Eagles. What do you, and Eric left? What do you think about the Dolphins defensive coordinator go to the Eagles? That surprised me. Fangio.
Yeah, I guess he wanted to go. He's from up here. He's from Dunmore, Pennsylvania. He went to Stroudsburg University, so he's from. I don't even know what Dunmore is, but yeah, he's from up here. So I guess, and that was kind of weird. Where he leaves Miami, and then next he's got another job like the next day practice.
I think he wanted to be with his family. I think that was something family related. I think that was the Dolphins and him agreed to part ways. It wasn't it was just amicable. Go be with your family, that kind of thing. So I mean, it's just it is what it is.
I'm wondering if he's a good fit for the Eagles. I guess is my question. By the way,
anybody's a good fit for the Eagles.
I had a scholarship to East Stroudsburg, so I got nothing but love for East Stroudsburg.
Yeah, I saw it last week when I was up there.
You saw what? East Stroudsburg?
Right through the campus.
Yeah, you got to go through it. Yeah. What was I going to tell you? What do you think? How do you think he's going to do with Philadelphia? Because
I got into it with a Philadelphia fan with this. Vic Fangio is a 3-4 guy. The personnel that Philadelphia has right now is a 4-3, and I try to tell this guy that tackles in a 4-3 are different than when you play the 3-4, because with 3-4 defense, you're playing defense, and you got to be more of an anchor on the outside. You're not rushing the passer. You are, but you're more of an anchor playing at the 5 technique. As far as an end in the 3-4 defense, it's a big difference. It's we got and with the Eagles are going to have Jordan Davis is going to be the nose. Fletcher Cox is getting up there. Age is going to be one of the ends now. Brandon Graham's going to be the other end, and Brandon Graham is kind of like on the lighter side. He's like 250, 260. So now if you put him at the 5 technique, you got the tight end or the tackle coming down. He's not a big guy, at all, as far as being the anchor. But, I'm sure they'll make it work, with the guys that they have.
I don't know what the heck the Eagles are doing. They fell apart. They crumbled. I don't know. So there's something really wrong with that team. So
you notice Eric disappeared as we get to the Eagle part. Yeah, they fell up. They were a bad 11-1 team. I mean, at the end of the day, I kept saying that all year. They're not playing. Oh, maybe they're going to wake up. Maybe they're playing possum. We're hearing. Remember, Byron?
No, it's called switch. Turn to switch.
Turn to switch. They were playing possum. They were everything in the possible came out. Now, don't get me wrong.
The switch broke.
Well, the switch never switch was taped down, right? It was do not turn on. All right, let's keep going. A lot of fillings, okay? Hey, the Falcons hired Raheem Morris, defensive coordinator, which is pretty interesting. I'm surprised they hired a defense. Hey, Jim Harbaugh, we knew was going to the Chargers. I think that's a really good move. I'm happy for Justin Herbert. I'm happy for Jim Harbaugh. I think they're going to be tough with Jim Harbaugh. Raheem Morris was the defensive coordinator for the LA Rams, and he was the head coach for Tampa Bay Bucks. The Panthers hired Dave Canales, Latino. He was the Bucks offensive coordinator. The Titans hired Brian Callahan from the offensive coordinator from the Bengals.
You know who his father is, right? Bill Callahan.
And he's bringing them with him.
Oh, really? Yeah, he's a great offensive line coach. Callahan.
He's taking him. He's going to be his dad's boss. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure his dad is proud of that. I don't shoot. And then, hey, I'm very happy for Antonio Pierce, Giant. He got the job with the Raiders. I thought that was a good move. Now, Byron,
finally made the right move.
Byron, let me ask you a question on this because I don't know, and it's for our listeners. So, we're always talking about, how the head coaches have to go. So look at two minority head coaches were placed, right? One got released and 2 were placed, right? With Canales and
Raheem.
Canales and Raheem, right?
Yeah.
But 3 and Antonio Pierce.
Right.
Right. So my question though is when you're an interim head coach, does that alleviate you from having to interview? And and Gerard Mayo too, right? So that's 4.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. I think because they're already on the staff.
Oh no, I would still interview them.
No,
Yeah,
I'm not
would-
saying.
I
I'm
would
not
still-
saying. I'm not saying what we're doing. My question is, how we're always debating about how the Rooney Rule doesn't work. So I'm saying to myself, I'm happy Antonio Pierce got the job, but if they can work the system by putting someone as interim head coach and then easily give him the job without having it going through the Rooney Rule interviewing process, then you're just giving the owners an easy pass of not,
Yeah, but
giving everybody.
Tampa Bay did it with Arians when they gave the job to Todd Bowles. It just went, here you go. And
Yeah, I don't
that's
know
how
how
you
that
got.
works. I don't know. I don't know how that works. But maybe it's because when you hire from within, maybe you don't have to do that. I don't know.
It's
Well,
like a
I don't know.
promotion.
Yeah, hold on, my battery's gonna die on me. Well, we're about to wrap this up now, anyways. Oh, Dad, sorry. Oh, God, but you guys keep talking, so I don't even see my belly.
Well, the big question is what's going to happen with Belichick? Is he even going to have a job?
There's
The
only
only
two.
other job that he could get is Washington
No, and the
And I
Panthers.
mean,
No, Washington and Seahawks.
and the Seahawks, and Vrabel's probably going to go to the Seahawks.
Or Dan Quinn.
Yeah.
I don't,
Yeah.
I don't like.
Yeah,
I
he's
don't
not.
think Dan Quinn's good.
Belichick, like he's getting ready to get blocked out of getting a job.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that? Nobody's picking up Belichick.
And you know what? Then he would end up on one of those like studio shows, and I tell you what, he would be awesome at those. Because as terrible as he is on those press conferences, when he's actually wanting to talk football, he's the smartest guy there is. He's a historian. He would be wonderful on one of those studio shows if they put him on.
So
But they say about him all the time that once he's away from like you said, the media and all, they said he's a completely different person. So
well, yeah, Stephen A. Smith said that. Stephen A. Smith goes, he's actually really funny. Like
He's a great guy. He's very has a great personality. Yeah.
And you know how sometimes people are even funnier than like if somebody else said something because their demeanor that you're used to them being. When they say something, you're more shocked that they make a joke about something. I could see Belichick being that way.
Did you hear his Lawrence Taylor story?
No.
Real quick, I'll tell when he was a defensive coordinator of the Giants and Bill Parcells was the coach, and that was the 80s with Lawrence Taylor. They're having a defensive meeting, and Lawrence Taylor is like 5-10 minutes late, and so Bill Belichick's running the meeting. Then he goes to Bill Parcells and says, "Just FYI, Lawrence Taylor was late to them, was 5-10 minutes late to me." And Bill Parcells says, "Why did you start the meeting without him?"
yeah.
But LT did what he wanted to.
Exactly.
He drove,
and you tolerate, and you let him do whatever he wanted.
He drove to the practice field in a golf cart. Like he would drive up to the practice field in a golf cart, drive off on a golf cart. Parcells let him loose, and it worked.
It worked.
As long as he showed up on Sunday, that's all that mattered.
They didn't care what he was doing. They cared that they knew that was probably the greatest player of all time. Like that guy was just someone. He was unique at its most uniqueness. Right.
They even put him on special teams.
I mean, go. They were. I love when they do clips of him when they mic'd him up. Man, he was just mean. He killed you. I'm coming after you all day. I'm coming. You can't. Oh my God, he would just so talk. All righty, we're gonna be wrapping this up tonight. Joey Bag of Donuts, thank you for joining us. Hey, how can we hear your show? When is it? Tell us a little bit about your show.
I am Joey Bag of Donuts, V instead of an F. I have a show every Monday night. I mostly talk Steelers, kind of a depressing subject right now, but that's what I do Mondays at 7.
All righty. Hey, real quick, I do want to ask a question. I love Tomlin. You know how I feel about Tomlin. Do you think he should have stayed?
Yeah, because it got really bad. They were 7-7, I believe, or at one point, and he righted the ship, and they ended up 10-7. So even at their lowest point, even when things look really bad, he was able to turn them around. He never lost a team. Not like the Eagles. The Eagles just went free falling. But Tomlin brought them back, and that's what he is. He's a darn good coach. He has his flaws, but he is a darn good coach.
So as a Steeler fan, okay, so don't get me wrong. I think he's a great coach. I just would have preferred that he stepped away. I don't think he's, I don't think he's, I wasn't insinuating he was deserving of being fired or anything like that at all. And, Steelers don't do that. But I wanted him to step away. I
He's
don't
been there
want,
17 years. That's a long time.
yeah, I want him to step away. I think are you happy with not making it to deep into the playoffs, not winning a Super Bowl? You don't have a quarterback. You're trying to find them. I just don't want him to end up leaving and end up not and having a losing season. Right? It's already so hard. He's did it 2 years in a row with a 17 game season. That's hard. It was at 8-8. He still doesn't have a losing season. Fair? It's even. It's not a losing season. But with
Right.
with 17, you're gonna either have a losing season or you're not gonna have a losing season.
Well, unless you tie.
That's it. Well, yeah, but you're right. But let's throw that out, right? You're risking the fact, and I just don't want to see that. Anyhow, I just wanted to see how a true Steeler fan felt. I love Tomlin. I would like to see him in the booth for a little bit, and then maybe go to another team. You know what I mean? And I want him to leave on his terms. I just don't want him to have a losing season, and I just don't think he's going to win a Super Bowl anytime soon. I don't think you have the pieces yet. You need a quarterback. Now, if he can get his offense going, which it was kind of going, but he needs a quarterback. He keeps going down to 3 and 4 string quarterbacks. I mean, and he still wins.
Look at Belichick without Brady. Look at Tomlin without Ben Roethlisberger. When you lose your Hall of Fame quarterback, it gets a lot harder to win games and go into playoffs. So he got to figure that out, and that's the big challenge.
Yeah. All righty. Well, welcome. Don't forget to listen to Joey's show every week. Again, when is it, Joey?
Mondays at 7.
Mondays at 7 p.m. We are here at the Jersey Boys Sports Talk every Thursday. At what time, Byron? 8 p.m. That's it for you. For those of you that can't, 8 p.m. Joey, we really appreciate you joining our show. It's always fun having you on, talking some good football. We got the playoffs. We got couple more games coming up, right? So, okay, Byron, let's do your picks and let's wrap this show up. And don't forget to check in our podcast. By the way, the link to Joey's show will be in the bottom of our in our YouTube channel. You also have Gravy Stack, a good educational platform for your kids. We got a commercial for valuable assets and my company protecting a legacy wealth for your children's children. We got coming up. All right, what do we got? Conference championships, Chiefs, Ravens. What do you got, Byron?
Ravens.
Joey?
Ravens.
I'm gonna go with the Ravens. If I'm 0 for 3, it will be the last time I will ever go. And I said that last time. It'll be the last time I go against it. If the Ravens lose this game, man, I just don't know. I don't know what to say. Anyhow, so I'm going to go the Ravens. All right, 49ers versus the Lions. Joey?
Lions.
Ooh. Byron, I know who you're picking.
You know I'm going to pick Lions. Woo!
All right, well, since I am going to stick with that Purdy's not a fraud, I'm going to stick with the 49ers. But I will tell you that it's okay. I don't have no horse in the race, right? So, if Detroit makes it, I will be ecstatic. I would like to see Detroit in there. I just think that the 49ers, it's going to be tough. They're playing at Candlestick, right? Or whatever the name of the stadium is. They're playing at the 49ers. Yeah, they're playing at the 49ers. Now, if Debo's back, different. If he's not back, I think that's where the Detroit's got the best chance to win this game. I think Detroit's winning. They're playing good football. Their defense is playing a lot better. Just let's see if they can handle the pressure of this type of game. Right now they're going for 3 in a row. So, but we'll see. And I'll be happy for the Wilson family and the Jones family and all the Detroit fans out there, Eminem and everybody. But I still think the 49ers is a good Good organization. Shanahan's going to have something wrapped up. We'll go from there. Gentlemen, you have a good night. God bless you and your family. And stay tuned. And by the way, tonight, I have less than 3 more hours for being 58.
Happy birthday!
Yeah,
Oh,
thank you.
happy birthday, the old guy.
Yeah, I just can't believe it, man. Time is flying, man. It's great getting old and it's bad getting older. So, all right,
You know, like a
gentlemen.
day over 57.
Yeah, thanks. I'll take it. I wish I could go back a couple of years. Oh, those last 2 years were tough. All right, God bless, gentlemen. Have a good night. Jersey Boys Sports Talk signing out. Hold on 1 second, baby. We're getting ready to go, and on 1, 2.